Okay, so tonight's topic, we're talking about twin flames versus soulmates. And really, like, how I once thought, like, about them, like, I thought they were the same. I thought that, the words were just being interchanged. And then as I started to dive more into spiritual topics, then I started to get more details and realize, like, there are differences, but they would always be like different different definitions and things. So I really wanted to kind of get into it because at different points in my life, I knew that I had experienced twin flames, and then now a soulmate. So I want to talk about this because it's one of those topics that's gotten so mixed up, romanticized, and the truth is actually way more meaningful. So, all right. So, really, all of us have a soulmate, twin flame. So, right away, we can all breathe. Like, we all have both, but it's not really about like chasing something that's like rare or special. It's really about what, like, understanding what each of them truly means and then how they can help you on your journey. So, let's start with a soulmate. So, a soulmate is someone that you have a sacred connection with. This is unspoken, it's natural. There's just this like deep feeling that you have. This is someone that may touch your sexuality and spirituality in ways like you've never imagined. So, really, a soulmate connection is peaceful, it's grounding, but it's also like multi-dimensional. So we're multi-dimensional beings, meaning like this is love in multiple dimensions. And so it's not just physical or romantic, it's more like a spiritual recognition. Okay? So these are going to be souls that you've crossed paths with, souls that you guys have joined together before. Like maybe you have intermingled with your physical body during other lifetimes, and it's really very likely that your spirit or soul has been with the spirit that's within them in a past, present, parallel, or even future lifetimes. So you and your soulmate, you guys have done some traveling together, like maybe as lovers, maybe as close friends, even family, but in like multiple timelines. So these connections, they're really meant for you guys to help each other evolve in love. And these ones, either they play or like they played a part in the development of like your full being, all aspects of your being, but they always touch your soul or your spirit in a really positive way. So a lot of souls, they get back into relationships during multiple lifetimes to help each other in working out whatever issues that maybe they didn't work out in a previous lifetime, or maybe they didn't remember, or maybe they didn't deal with a situation in the highest vibrational manner. So now soulmates, they come back around to help complete finished lessons in love. So I would say it's definitely more like gentle, it's definitely more compassionate, but each one of us, we have at least one soul that's going to cause your spiritual self to really feel complete. That's that completion feeling that we talk about when we hear like, "Oh, you complete me." Well, you're actually already whole, but this soul helps you feeling even more complete. Right. And then touching them in the physical, and it doesn't always have to be in a sexual way. It can trigger memories. And so this would be your soulmate. So if you do come across your soulmate in this lifetime, it is in your highest good to be with them in love and compassion, like stick with them through thick and thin. Don't give up on them or yourself. You're going to need to tolerate their mistakes, their misgivings, care for them like you would yourself, remain with them, cherish them, hold them, and most importantly, try to be with them during their time of when they transition. So for me, being with a soulmate, it feels so different. It's like even upon meeting, there's this like you kind of fall back into this comfortable feeling of, oh, I knew you. And it is one of the most amazing experiences to have. And so, like I mentioned, everyone has a soulmate. So you will get to experience that. So it's not something that you need to think of, oh, it's rare or will I ever meet them, right? When the time is right, you will meet because you do have some unfinished business. If you're here in this reincarnation, it means you got some unfinished business. So your soulmate is probably right around the corner. So let's talk about the twin flames now. So the twin flames, and this is where some people got into this idea that the twin flames were kind of more like the soul mate, I think. So whatever you've heard, let's clear it up. So the twin flame now has really been mistakenly given that description of the ultimate soulmate, but this is the soul or the spirit that is rarely your lover. They are rarely your mate, like rarely. And although they're not your ultimate romantic partner, they're actually your spiritual catalyst. So, like the closest word that can describe twin flames is like a duplication of your solar spirit. So, they're really there to mirror your own energy. So, they're not like a missing half, right? They're not the completion to you, but they're like a reflection that's going to help you to evolve. So, your twin flames are going to be the folks whose path you cross that are going to help you in finding true balance. And they come and go during your life or your lifetime. So it's going to be really beneficial to receive whatever gifts they're giving you for whatever it's worth. And a lot of that's going to be remembrance. And after your initial connection with like a twin flame and the remembrance, most likely they're going to go. Most likely they're going to leave. They fulfill that purpose. So learning to let go, oftentimes that's the lesson that you'll be learning with your twin flame. So your twin flames are like, they're like your temporary teachers. Like they're going to show up during these specific turning points in your life to help awaken you and realign you. They're going to challenge your ego. They're going to open your heart. They're going to force you to remember who you are. And then these ones, they're going to be in life, in your life, like I said, during that pivotal moment, right? Maybe there's a pivotal spiritual decision you need to make. Maybe there's a revolutionary epiphany, but they're going to be your messengers. They're going to help you become more aware of your physical self and help you to clarify things like dreams and goals. So I want to share really quick, like before I met my soulmate, I was with a twin flame and I didn't know really anything about this. I wasn't really like into it. I didn't even really realize he was my twin flame until afterwards. But that relationship is really what triggered me going into my spiritual journey. And I'm sure he has no idea. He probably doesn't even remember. I would say like most of them aren't going to consciously know or be aware of the impact that they'll have on you if they're like your twin flame. But my twin flame cracked me wide open and helped propel me into a whole spiritual awakening. And from that point on, it was magic. And so like I'm so grateful for the experience. And I understand now because I know what a twin flame was. But back then, I thought he was my soulmate. But we were so alike. When I say it was a mirror, like we had the same furniture, we said the same things. We would have the same art, same colors, like, but we also mirrored each other in the ways that we handled conflict, which wasn't healthy, right? We were both avoiders, right? We were both of Caribbean descent. So we came with that set of stuff. And we essentially just kept mirroring each other. And we couldn't understand why we couldn't make things work. But eventually, we split and it propelled me into going into a whole rabbit hole of really trying to understand like what the heck just happened. And then my spiritual journey. So I wanted to share that to say, because you might have some reflections of like past relationships that you've had where you thought this person was it because there were so many similarities. But when you really drill down in it, it was more so that you needed to see what wasn't in the highest good for you in order to be triggered to know it's time to change and it's time to evolve out of it. It's time to evolve past that. Okay. So most of us have more than 22 twin flames. So we can all relax and we can understand like most often, like you're going to have one near you, but they're pretty interchangeable. So you don't have to cling to like the one person thinking that they're the one. But twin flames, they show up at the perfect time for your growth and not your possession. So they come when your soul is ready for reflection, and then they leave when the lesson is complete. Okay, so let me recap. So the main difference is like soulmates, they're going to be your deep, sacred love. It's going to feel peaceful, it's going to feel familiar. And then you have a relationship that's meant for growth through like compassion. And oftentimes you guys are going to be lifelong partners, lifelong connections. And then the twin flames, those are your energetic mirrors. So those are the ones that are going to be meant to trigger uh, an awakening for you, trigger self-awareness, and they're usually temporary. So they show up at key points in your evolution, but they're here to reflect you and not necessarily like complete you. So these ones, the twin flames, reflection, guidance, important spiritual communications, and then the deep state reality checks. So in closing, like both types, twin flame soulmates, like the connections are still divine. Like one of them grounds you in like partnership, that's your soulmate. The other one awakens you to yourself, that's your twin flame. But either way, like it's divinely orchestrated for you to get what it is that you need in order for you to graduate, in order for you to eventually reunite with source, back into the oneness, right? Unconditional love, that's a part of the whole lessons that we're here to progress through. So like I mentioned, my experiences, I have a soulmate here that's really grounding me in unconditional love. My twin flame, I'm so grateful to all of them for just assisting me in the ways that we needed to, even if they're not consciously aware. But both experiences are love, just expressed differently, and that's really the point. So that's what I have for you guys today, twin flames versus soulmates. And if you want, feel free, share your experiences. But I love you all, and I'll see you in the next one.